I mean, before we even get to that, he was talking about like the dark side.
Yes,
and I know like that was like this was like it wasn't my favorite chapter, but it was like it was a very intriguing chapter to me because again it was quite. I don't know if I agreed with it. I don't think. In fact, I didn't agree with it. I kind of thought I got what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
So basically, Tim Grover says that everyone has a dark side. Which will be true. Everyone does. But then when you're, so we've been taught to be good, but we're born bad.
Yeah.
We're born relentless, but we're taught to relent. That's kind of how we kind of put it down. I kind of get it. So he's like, when he's talking about the good side and the bad side, a cleaner harnesses the dark side into raw controlled power. Okay, I dig that. Then he's like, he'll talk like Superman and Clark Kent, but there was no bad. They're both. I didn't understand that example because they're both good guys. Do you know what I mean? They're both good guys. Batman, no, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Okay, I got that one. You know, one's the monster and one's the doctor who's a normal guy, whatnot. So, but I think he kind of romanticized the whole dark side thing.
Yeah. You
know, because that can get really out of, like Tiger Woods, if you want to use a spot example, you know, his dark side came out and everyone saw what happened to him, do you know what I mean? And there's loads of other examples of that. So, and I feel like, obviously the age I am now, I'm old enough to think I don't agree with that, or I don't agree with it completely. But I think when you're a younger person who's kind of looking up to him thinking, oh, this guy's worked with Michael Jordan, and if you're trying to build yourself in basketball, that can be, I think that's quite dangerous to some degree. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't agree with it. I got what he was trying to say, but it wasn't really, you know, he says a cleaner controls their urges and whatnot, but then he also says like, they still go and do this, that and the third, and I don't know, it just...
Yeah, I feel like maybe there's some parts it was a bit contradicted himself.
Yeah.
But that part, I did laugh out loud in something that he said. And I think I'm going to say this to the audience, to the viewers for this one, because think about the things that you don't want anyone to know about. Or think about the things that you don't want anyone to know about you. It's okay, no one can guess what you're thinking. Or no, he says, it's okay, no one will know. Like,
okay.
So
he's like reassuring you.
Yeah, he's reassuring you that you're thinking about the dark side, and you might be thinking, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about that. But then he's like, no, it's okay, no one can get into your head. Anyway, that just made me laugh. I just found it funny. But yeah, that chapter, I didn't love it. I mean, what did you think about the chapters, in a sense? He says he doesn't put numbers on the chapters, and also in the tasks, because every task is as important as one. Without the third task, the fourth doesn't matter. So when he gives his athletes a list of tasks, they're all number one. I found that quite
I can dig it.
useful.
I can dig that. I can dig that.
I didn't like it in the book sense because, you know, you didn't know what chapter you were on, right? But in a life sense, I thought that was quite...
Yeah, because it's kind of sequence. So like, you can't get to step 2, you can't skip out steps. You know, you've got to do, so everyone, if you look at the end, everyone thinks, oh, how do I get to the end? But there's 100, if not more steps before you get to that kind of picture. So I get it, it's a mindset. I think his mindset definitely pushed through this. I went into a little bit of a rabbit hole because I was quite interested, because I didn't know who he was before this. So I kind of watched a few of his podcasts, few interviews he's done.
Okay.
So he's kind of, his background in life before he came into this kind of role as an author or working with the NBA basketball players. His father came to America with a degree, but then his degree didn't really do much for him. So he kind of had to get like a low-level job. He had quite a horrid job, man. His dad used to dismember dead bodies.
Oh.
Yeah, like in a hospital or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's pretty much what it was. So, but then he used to see his dad do that. So that kind of obviously would have do something to you psychologically.
And he did mention it in the book, actually. From a young age, he saw his dad took him to work at like 5 or something, which is
crazy.
Crazy.
But so maybe that's part of why he's got kind of a harder mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, he, like I said, man, just speaking from his kind of own experiences. But I liked when he talks about one of my favorite chapters. So he starts most of these chapters, the ones without numbers, when you're a cleaner. So when you're a cleaner, when everyone is hitting the in case of emergency button, they're all looking for you. And I think definitely in my position as like as like a CEO or as a leader, people do kind of look to you. But then even in other situations, and I also look at sporting examples as well, where I've been on teams and I've been like, okay, yeah, you know what? It wasn't necessarily me people were looking at, but I was looking at other people, whether that be the manager or the captain or just leaders within the team. And some circumstances, I was the leaders in the team. So I kind of like, that's something that's quite relatable, you know, like you're the person that people are looking to for ideas, or they come at you with the problems for you to help solve it. And this is an example of, so we said already about the cooler, the closer, and the cleaner. So a cooler waits for you to tell him the plan. A closer works on the plan, studies it, memorizes it, and knows exactly what he has to do. And a cleaner doesn't want a specific plan. He wants every possible option available to him at all times. So that's kind of how he breaks it down, you know. So the cleaner has the hardest or most complex role, but they just assume that responsibility. And yeah, so I think that's something that can be applied. And again, we talk about business, we talk about sports, but again in life, you know, if you're like the head of a family or part of a family or integral, or your group of friends or community or whatnot, it kind of falls out. So definitely in that relation, in that element, I thought, yeah, a cleaner, I get that and I understand what that is.
Yeah, I think cleaners adapt. That's kind of the ethos that he was saying. Cleaners, I mean, there's lots of things that he was saying about cleaners, but they adapt. And he gave an example of how he adapted in a situation. He had a kids camp. There were 500 kids that signed up, but actually 2,000 showed up. Which the team weren't prepared for. They were panicking or whatever. And then he said, right, no, this is what we're going to do. And then he made it work with 2,000. And I know you've been in situations, not necessarily exactly the same, but, you know, where you've had to adapt. I've certainly been in situations where I've had to adapt. And I found this book, it gave me, you know, a little ego stroke at times, you know, when he was describing cleaners and certain things, and it was like, yeah, okay, I do that, I do that, I do that. And I was like, okay, I'm on the right track for what I'm hoping to achieve. And a few things, you know, you're not intimidated by pressure, you thrive in it. And I love this one because I've seen this with other people, so, and also with myself. So for the viewers, I do a daily press up challenge or squat challenge with a few friends. I've done it with different people over the years. I'm still consistent, you know, 50 press ups or 50 sit ups or 50 squats or whatever a day. And there's a fine if you don't do it, right? There's a £5 fine. And I've missed a couple of times, very rare in the years that I've done it. But when I've missed, cool, I've missed, pay the fine. And he says, a cleaner owns their mistake, no justification needed. And I didn't need to justify why I missed, paid. Whereas when other people have missed, I missed because this and that, and it's like, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter about why. The message, the thing is, you missed. Pay the fine. Do you think
you're like that? Because why are you like that? Do you think? No, because I don't want to put words. Why do you think you're like that?
Why am I like that? Because in business, if you miss, you get punished.
Does it matter the reason?
What do you mean?
Like, so let's say business now. Let's say you're going to do a presentation. So you do presentations.
Yes.
And you turn up late.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
Yes, it matters.
No, does the excuse matter?
Oh yeah, the excuse doesn't matter. Yeah,
that's the point I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
You're late.
Yeah.
So and if you're late, it might not even be your fault. It could be whatever reason is you're late, but you're late. So you can stand there trying to explain to the person like, oh, you know what, the trains and this could be all totally justifiable reasons. Or,
yes.
No, I'm late. I'm not supposed to be here this time. I'm sorry, I'm late. Let's get busy. Do you see what I'm saying? So I mean.
Yeah. So. To go back to the question, why am I like that? Yeah, because it doesn't matter. I think, yeah, the harsh reality, the reason and the excuse for not doing something is irrelevant.
That's cleaner talk there, boy. That's cleaner talk there, boy.
I mean, what do you think about that? Because
I agree.
I personally, like, it's irrelevant. Like, you're late or you didn't do it.
No, I agree, and I know, like, I haven't been in any of your groups, but I know how you get. I know how you get.
You
down.
know how I am,
I know you get
and
down.
I guess hearing you now, it feels, and I think as well at times, it feels like maybe I'm a bit harsh at times, and maybe I feel a bit harsh, but I know, like I said, for my business, if I'm late to deliver a workshop, if I'm late, or if I don't represent myself in the way that I want to be, it can have an impact.
It boils down to standards at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? You've got high standards for yourself, and then you expect them on other people.
Yeah.
Basically, do you know what I mean? And one of your standards is you don't make excuses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, no, I mean, I totally get it. And that's what I mean, I think, especially if you're a business owner, I think you'll definitely relate to a lot of things in this book, because even from the other side, you know, again, having a team, I expect results, and I'm not that interested in the excuses if they don't. What I'm more interested in is, have you learned from it, and can you assure me this won't happen again? You know, and again, I mean, like, things happen, life happens, X, Y, Z, but that's more where, I don't need continuous excuses. I need it to not happen again. Do you see what I mean? So, and I think, you know, that's with the cleaner. And again, that's why I said, I think when I think of cleaners in a sporting context, I think more of managers.
That was just a snippet. To watch the full episode, click here. And of course, subscribe.